Hello dear viewers and welcome to Hyperspace broadcast, the Continuum Astra podcast. In this episode I explain and give my opinions on the Last Starfighter ships and technology. Well, let me make it known that ships are the main focus in this episode. I will start with the Continuum Empire since most of the ships depicted in the film are from them. So let's get started. First we have the deck fighter. Deck fighters are propelled by 3 thrusters. Weapons are 4 laser guns and 1 missile launcher. I suspect that the missile launcher we're talking about is the weapon that can be seen at the front of the body of the deck fighter, just below the cockpit. The deck fighter has a crew of 1 pilot. Deck fighters work in concert with command ship for coordination. That forgotten is almost impossible for deck fighters to take down an enemy. Let me give my opinions, and there's no quite a lot to say. Deck fighters don't look bad, they look just good, and they look very real with the exterior paint and color of exhaust flames. I also think it's a good choice to have them be reliant on the command ship for uniqueness, and I'm glad they fit so perfectly in the fleet. There's also disappointing story-wise since they serve to diminish the threat that the coding shall be bringing. And that's my thought. That's all I've got to say. The Swarm. There's very little info about them that, to add insult into injury, we've never seen the interior of these ships. Swarms have 2 thrusters on the aft and 1 thruster on the ventral side of the ship's hull. It makes me wonder why the Swarm ships had purple exhaust plumes in the original HD format of the film. It raises questions about the source of energy of the ships and can be used to expand the lore of Starfighter if the film is turned into a franchise, and that's why watching films, TV series and just anything related to Hollywood productions should be first watched in the original format. Swarms are armed with revolving top-mounted laser turrets and missiles. We never get to see where the missiles come from. We've never seen the missile launchers on the ship, and even though I got specs, it didn't quite. I didn't see where they come from. Swarms play the role of scout ships and can be seen lurking the frontier in such a manner that it seems Coden FBI agents are conducting investigation to ensure secure passage of their president in a foreign area. For those who don't know, there's a door on. I'm not sure if it's one or both sides of the ship, as I got some pictures. Now my opinions. I think that the Swarm looks cool. Swarms look cool and have a great design. Awesome work by Ron Cobb. Also like the fitting of the thrusters, adds to the uniqueness and identity of the ship really well. I like that they have a very specific role, something that is not very common in science fiction, and also I'm glad that they were not part of the Coden fleet during the Battle of Rylos. In my opinion, the Coden Swarm has similarities to Federation ship design in such a way that the thrusters on the aft hull warp nacelles, while the front thruster parallels the deflector shield, even though there's no star drive section. Also, the body of the ship reminds me of a ship in Star Trek Discovery that was in Starfleet headquarters. Had a triangle source section, although the Swarm's body is wide, while obviously that ship had a narrow source section. I know it sounds crazy. I thought it was too serious to say it here, since the last time I did something like this, it turned into a hot debate of which I regret ignited. But people having different opinions isn't bad, and we should respect that. And now the only capsule ship in the Last Starfighter, the command ship. The command ship is propelled by two thrusters. The only weapon I know used by the command ship is the meteor gun or mass driver cannons. There's an implication that it uses a ring to help objects gain acceleration, but that's just my thought and isn't confirmed truth. But if that's what Ron Corbin had in mind, I'd be so glad how grounded Starfighter is. Other utilities include numerous deck fighters, which rely on it for coordination in battle. This facilitated by a communication turret. The role of the command ship is a battleship or a carrier. Now, my opinions. I think that the command ship looks so cool and has cool interiors and exteriors. I like that there's an ops table, something that wasn't in any Battlestar in classic BSG and was rare in Star Wars back then. But I hate that the buttons on it were triangle in shape, and that diminishes the look of the command ship's bridge. Also, as you can see on the screen, is a close-up on the bridge's exterior, which looks absolutely awesome. To see this ship in its best looks, check out the new formats of the Last Starfighter. The inclusion of mass drivers, which are referred to as meteors, is a good thing, and I like that it's the only ship with those weapons in the film. In my opinion, there's a ship for bosses, and Krill, the ship's captain, is one. Zor is just there because he got permission from the Golden Emperor. In fact, this ship is a boss itself. Having the deck fighters rely on it for coordination battle, and also having crew members be integrated into its computers and what can be called in-office imprisonment, leaves someone with that impression. But this is also its weakness, as deck fighters don't get to fight for it, and that leaves the Codon fleet defeated. So that's what I think. This ship is absolutely cool. It's amazing. Finally, the Stalker film. Funny enough, we don't get to see many ships. Unlike this, the hero faction is supposed to be seeing more ships from them than the Codon. That will raise a lot of questions, and even without them, there are still questions left unsolved. So without further ado, the Gunstar. Having it in mind that I did a breakdown video on the Gunstar, I'll just raise my opinions, but before I do that, I want to make clear what I did not in the first place. There are 4 photon missile launchers and 4 particle beam cannons on the Gunstar. Now, my opinions. I think that after the collapse of the Frontier, Gunstars must have played a highly important role in security around the Starfleet capsule's space. I think that a sequel series revolving around the rebuilding of the Frontier and the Starleague's fall into Imperial Codon hands will be fantastic. Probably with the 1984 film's characters recast, or have them brought back in an animated series, but still having great dramatic intensity. It will even be better if new characters are brought to the table. The Gunstar is the best and most awesome space fighter put to screen. It is the deadliest fighter I've come across, and can't put one big dogfight with a Star Fury. Its level of scientific accuracy is astounding, since the film had a very simple story, and planet-side scenes took a big part of the film. The Death Blossom is a one-of-a-kind weapon system, and it puts the advanced prototype Gunstar to legendary status. This ship is amazing and is a huge factor to why I love The Last Starfighter. Last place, and at first I thought that this shall be an honorable mention. The Stalker. This thing, I can't call it a ship. I don't know what to call it because it's definitely not on my list of starships. No matter how far or fast it flies, it will never be. Even with a space drive enabling it to move light speed or faster than that, to the specifics, there's very little info about it, We only get to know that it has a space drive since it's capable of FTL travel through interstellar space. Uh, the Stalker seems to be powered by a very powerful source and may imply of how advanced Starlink tech is. But when I think of the Stalker, I'm not good with it since it stretches believability too far. That that doesn't mean it shouldn't be seen again in a possible Starfighter sequel. That's all I have to say about it. Now, talking technology, and this is the only thing I'll mention when talk about technology, is Starfighter Command, or as it is better known, the Rylo Starfighter base. In the Last Starfighter wiki, Starfighter Command is described as a military installation, that commands the Starlink Gunstar fleet. I will add and say that it seems to be the primary military installation that serves as the headquarters and commands the Starlink Gunstar fleet for more clarity. Starfighter Command seems to be the main source of defense for the planet Rylos. It contains numerous Star Legion officials of various ranks, with Ambassador Endearon possibly holding the highest rank in the interstellar state's Starfighter fleet. Starfighter Command is armed with automatic repulsor guns in the event of an assault on the base. Now, my opinions on Starfighter Command. The creation of a Starfighter base by the filmmakers was a lot ambitious since it was the largest set, and the final product was a very wonderful and functional base, one that will be attractive enough to have it as the main base of operations of Project Astra Continuum. Star Legion are to transfer to a new location. I believe it should be a reason for one to become a fan of the Last Starfighter and also join the Star Legion to serve and protect the interstellar state. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to smash that notification bell. Before I end this video, I'll leave you with the word that wherever you are, ask before you speculate, and speculate responsibly. From Continuum Astra, may the 7 pillars of Cthulhu be with you at all times.